This training module is for administrators who have rental assistance grants through the Housing Trust Fund or Bridges programs. It is part 1 of the draw request form explaining its functionality. The form is available for download from our website at www.mnhousing.gov/sites/multifamily/rental assistance. Before we get started, I'd like to outline Minnesota Housing's mission, which is to provide access to safe, decent, affordable housing and to build stronger communities across the state. The agency accomplishes this by offering products and services to help Minnesotans buy and fix up their homes, and by supporting the development and preservation of affordable rental housing through both the financing and long-term asset management of projects and developments. The agency has also pioneered a successful model for supportive housing that helps stabilize the lives of some of the state's most vulnerable citizens. This module will outline some of the features of the draw request form and explain how to submit it. The draw request form is an Excel spreadsheet that has multiple worksheets within it, all containing different functions. We'll review each one. I'll also inform you of some of the program requirements, what parts of the form require entry, and how to report properly. The draw request form is required to keep your program in compliance with some of your grantee responsibilities. It represents a true and accurate record of the participants you serve on a monthly basis. Every time the form is submitted to Minnesota Housing, that month's activity report becomes a memorialized auditable document that assists us in determining the overall health of your grant program. The draw request form also acts as a monthly summary for your grant utilization. In submitting it, you are inherently asking for a reimbursement which comes from your grant. When you request funds from your grant, we call it a draw, thus the name Draw Request Form. There are 3 main reasons to download a draw request form. The first is if you are a new administrator and your rental assistance team member has instructed you to do so because you are submitting your first grant reimbursement request. The second reason for downloading a draw request form might be due to an updated form being posted on our website. And finally, occasionally a previously downloaded version might become corrupt over time, therefore requiring a new version. Note that you must always save the document in an Excel 97-2003 XLS format. Any other format will be rejected. Also note that after you complete an initial draw request form, you will save as the previous month's form to create your current or subsequent month's form, unless you're directed by your rental assistance team member to download a new form. We're always attempting to refine the draw request form, making it a better product for your use and ours. So if you have ideas about how this form could be improved, feel free to pass them on to the rental assistance team. We'd be happy to hear your thoughts. Contact information may be found at the end of this tutorial. The draw request form requires a password to open, even if it's a blank form. This is to protect the participant data that will ultimately be entered into the log and submitted to Minnesota Housing. If you need the password, contact the rental assistance team. You'll see outlined on this slide the tabs that are included on the draw request form workbook. They are README, Instructions, General Info, Monthly Log 1, Adjustments, and RA Funding Request. Each tab is a worksheet within the workbook. I'll be going through each tab individually and outlining just a few features that will be beneficial for you to know ahead of time. However, I will not go over the Monthly Log tab. Part 2 of the draw request functionality tutorials details the monthly log functions. We recommend that you view Part 2 as soon as you have time. The Monthly Log tab contains a lot of detail and functionality, and Part 2 will explain how to accurately submit your monthly reports. The first tab is the README tab. This tab outlines changes that have been made to the draw request form so that administrators can see at a glance what's different from older versions of the form, as well as any other new reporting requirements. Minnesota Housing staff will attempt to minimize version updates to annual releases, unless the form contains corruptions or errors that will affect import to our database. When an updated form is available for download, administrators will receive an email from the rental assistance team requesting a download of the newest version from the website. We recommend that the administrators make it a priority not only to download the newest version, but also to review the README tab so they are familiar with what is different on the form, which is outlined in the Change Description area. This tab also outlines the version number, as indicated on this example. Version 7 indicates the version number, and the number following is the date in digit form, which indicates the date the form was released for use. In this instance, the date is December 1st, 2018. Again, we recommend reviewing the README tab as soon as a new form is downloaded. The next tab is the Instructions tab. It contains a summary of data entry requirements on the various fields and tabs within the workbook. Please take a moment to review the instructions and then follow them for reporting and submitting information in a timely manner. The General Info tab is where you will outline from which grant you are drawing. Some grantees have multiple grants, and similar to going to the bank and withdrawing funds from a specific account, the bank needs to know which account will be affected for the activities submitted. The same is required when requesting a draw. You'll find the grant detail in Exhibit A of your grant agreement. It is essential that all fields on the General Info tab are completed so it does not negatively affect the import to our database. To edit this area, use the Edit button to fill in the fields. The Edit button will turn into a lock button when the user is in edit mode. Don't forget to click the lock button after you complete your edits. In Section 1, the contact information should always be the name of the person who is directly submitting the form to Minnesota Housing for reimbursement. When there are questions regarding the submittal or the participant data on the monthly log, we will contact the person listed, and the name should match the person who submitted the request. In most cases, the person submitting the draw request and assisting us with participant data is not the person who oversees the entire health of the program. Moving down a little on the General Info tab, the last field in Section 1 details the prorate method you will use. The proration choice has been previously agreed upon and can be found in your grant agreement. The draw request form is preset and defaults to the option based on a 0.033 daily factor. Prior to submitting your draw request, you must select the appropriate choice for proration based upon your signed grant agreement. Once you save this option, the field will be saved to your selection. The only time this needs to be reset is if you download a new form from the website. The month and year that's selected in Section 2 affects the amounts on the log for mid-month activity for the same month identified on this tab. For instance, if it's January and there is a mid-month move-in in mid-January, the January log automatically calculates the correct prorated amount of rental assistance for that month. This is based on the dates in the fields and the prorate option you select. Again, those can be found in your grant agreement. From month to month, you will need to remember to change the reporting month in the month of request field. It should always be set appropriately for the active month of submittal. Failure to do so will ultimately result in a delay in processing your payment, and your request could be rejected, which means a resubmittal would be required. The information on the General Info tab as shown on this slide auto-populates several areas of the workbook in various areas of each spreadsheet and different tabs, including the RA Funding Request tab shown here. As indicated earlier, the data on the General Info tab is essential for proper import to our database and payment processing and must be completed in its entirety. One very important feature of the form is the ability to import participant data from a previous spreadsheet. This feature doesn't work if you have a new program and have yet to submit a request to Minnesota Housing. In that case, all the participant data will need to be filled in field by field. However, if you download a new draw request form and you have previously submitted a draw request, meaning you have older reports with current tenant data, you can import that data into the new draw request by using the button highlighted in red above, Import Data from a Previous Funding Report. It will walk you through a step-by-step process to upload the data. For more information, watch the Downloading the Draw Request Form tutorial, which explains not only how to download the form, but also how to import data from a previous report. The Monthly Log tab is where you'll report your participant data and the demographics of each household. The form has many functions outside of the button controls. It also offers automated calculations and formulas to assist in your data entry and reporting requirements, such as rounding, prorating, and removing a subsidy when suspended or termination is selected. It also auto-calculates 30% of participants' income. Due to the number of fields and the functionality on this tab, there is another tutorial that focuses specifically on the monthly log. We recommend you watch Part 2 of the Draw Request Form functionality, which specifically details monthly log and reporting requirements. The Adjustments tab allows for corrections or reimbursement adjustments that are outside of the current month of activity. The adjustment amount fields will auto-calculate into the total adjustments field that is directly above that adjustment amount column. However, you will notice that the total adjustments field is formulated to automatically round to the nearest dollar amount, which is meant to accommodate our accounting policies that restrict our ability to make payments in cents. To learn more about the Adjustments tab and what items should be reported using this tab, view the Housing-Related Expenses, Excess Utility Fees, and Adjustments tutorial on our website. All tutorials can be found at www.mnhousing.gov/sites/multifamily/rental assistance. For a summary regarding your reimbursement request amount, please use the RA Funding Request tab. Minnesota Housing staff utilizes the RA Funding Request tab for payment reimbursement detail, as it is the most accurate in financial figures. Also be sure to include notes to Minnesota Housing staff when needed. You can do so in the Comments section of this tab. This area is an easy way to capture notes regarding the payment or recipient information, and it's where an administrator can communicate that information to the rental assistance technician without having to send a follow-up email. As mentioned previously, there are several training modules that have been developed to help you accurately submit your reports. The tutorials are tailored to assist you in the payment reimbursement process and the use of the draw request form. Please view them at your earliest convenience. They are short, informative, and we believe they will be of value as you run your program, train staff, and submit draw request forms for reimbursement. You can find the tutorials by going to the multifamily section of our website at www.mnhousing.gov and clicking Grant Programs that can be found under Multifamily Rental Partners. Select Rental Assistance found at the top and scroll down to the training tutorials. Typing www.mnhousing.gov/sites/multifamily/rental assistance in your browser will also take you to the rental assistance page. We require draw request forms to be submitted using the Multifamily Secure Upload tool that can be found in the Partner Login section of Minnesota Housing's webpage. Our Secure Upload tool provides a secure way for you to submit private data that has been entered on the draw request form. It also allows you to track submitted items and confirm Minnesota Housing's receipt of those items. On Minnesota Housing's main webpage, which can be found at www.mnhousing.gov, click Partner Login on the top of the page. Scroll down to the Multifamily Applications section, click Multifamily Secure Upload tool, and follow the prompts. You will need to enter a recipient email address. Choose the email address for the rental assistance team and follow the prompts. The email address is mhfa.rental-assistance@state.mn.us. You can also access a link to the Secure Upload tool via the Rental Assistance for Administrators page. Simply insert the email address and follow the prompts. All of the steps are outlined in the Upload tool instructions. Again, when you begin the submittal process, it is imperative for you to have the rental assistance email address accessible because the secure upload requires that you correctly enter it for successful submission. Remember that the email address is on the last slide of this and other rental assistance tutorials and also can be found on our website. If you have questions regarding the submittal process, please contact the rental assistance team using the same email address. Draw request forms, also known as payment requests, are due on the 15th of every month using our secure upload tool that was previously mentioned. Please ensure that they are submitted in a timely manner. If you anticipate that they may be late, notify the rental assistance team at the email address listed on the last slide. Upon processing, payment information is sent to our accounting department, who issues it to MMB, Minnesota Management and Budget, for final disbursement of funds, which typically occurs around the last few days of every month. This concludes the training tutorial. Please direct any questions regarding content to the rental assistance team at mhfa.rental-assistance@state.mn.us. This is also the email address that I referred to earlier, which is required by our secure upload tool when you send in your draw request forms. It must be exact upon entry, or you will receive an error message. Again, the email is mhfa.rental-assistance@state.mn.us. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this tutorial.